CTV News, Vancouver Island Report.
Good evening. Thanks for being here. Vehicle passengers are now finally driving off the coastal Inspiration more than 3 hours after the ferry crashed into the dock at Duke Point in Nanaimo. The ferry terminal is now closed indefinitely as the damage is assessed. The ship was left to tread water for several hours until finally being redirected to Departure Bay, where the disembarking is underway. CTV's Joe Perkins has been following the story for us all afternoon. He joins us now once again with the latest. Joe.
Hudson, it's been a long afternoon and evening for passengers on board the vessel. The vessel was on a routine sailing from Tsawwassen to Duke Point when it experienced what BC Ferries calls a hard landing. The ship crashed into the dock with so much force that it took the dock out of commission. The terminal booth sustained significant damage, and the vessel's portside doors were also damaged. It meant vehicle passengers had no way to disembark. A passenger and a crew member were injured, both suffering from minor soft tissue injuries. Walk-on passengers were allowed to offload at Duke Point, but because of the damage to the dock, passengers with vehicles were forced to stay aboard. After more than 2 hours idling in the water while engineers checked the vessel over, it left for Departure Bay at about 5 o'clock this evening, and it's just arrived, finally allowing passengers to exit the ship. BC Ferries has closed the entire Duke Point terminal until further notice.
There was a lot of damage from the bridge. It just went, like, the doors just went like this. And there was a lot of damage.
They just went in too hard and it just damaged the docks, I guess, a little bit. So they're going to reroute it sounds like, to Departure Bay.
The captain of the ship warned passengers on the intercom to prepare for the hard landing. Other reports indicate BC Ferries is going to refund all the money for passengers. You might remember just over a month ago, BC Ferries had another hard landing. That time it was at Departure Bay when the Queen of Coquitlam came hard into the terminal. It meant a 2-hour delay for passengers, less than what passengers are experiencing today. BC Ferries says it will be looking into the incident.
We will be doing a full investigation into the incident. I wouldn't want to preclude the incident or preclude the investigation by making any comments about it, but we will be certainly investigating what happened.
Now, since this afternoon, there have been some scheduling tweaks. The Queen of New Westminster will sail from Tsawwassen to Departure Bay for the rest of the day. Because of the accident, a number of sailings have been canceled from Duke Point. The 3:15 and 8:15 sailing will no longer run from Tsawwassen. There was the 5:45 and the 10:45 tonight that were also canceled. And Hudson, well, I can also tell you a shuttle service was set up to transport passengers from Departure Bay to Duke Point. At this point, BC Ferries isn't telling us or indicating what caused the hard landing.
All right, we'll stay on the story. Updated at 11. Joe, thanks.
You're welcome.